In today's video, I'll show you the key in order to succeed as a video editor. We're gonna break down this key into 5 fragments to break down each topic in order to rebuild the key to unlock your success. Straight away, if you want to make it in the video editing business, you gotta focus on one thing and one thing only. Not fancy gear, not expensive softwares and plugins, your skills, your ability to edit well. So let's get into the first fragment of the key. So in the first fragment we have mastering the basics. A lot of people think that video editing is saturated, but in reality, people just don't know the basics. And we like to use the expression cooking for video editing, so let's use this analogy and let me explain you that video editing is like cooking. If you don't know how to properly cut vegetables, measure the ingredients, or control the heat, it doesn't matter if you have the most expensive kitchen tools, you will still make a bad dish. And same goes to editing. If your cuts are sloppy, your pacing is off, your audio is not even synced, nothing else matters. So before you jump into super complicated skills, just make sure that you master the basics first. Quick topics like pacing, maintaining continuity, audio balance, sound design are quick things that you can fix in your editing in order to go from noob too good. If your basics are weak, it doesn't matter how many cool animations that you can do, your edits will never stand out. One cool exercise that you can do is take the raw footage of a video and challenge yourself to cut it into different styles. You will learn about these types of video, and these basics will start to be intuition for you. It's like when you learn to ride a bike. Once you learn it, you never forget how to ride it again. And a good example of that is keyboard shortcuts. When you learn them, it just turns into muscle memory. You just spend a few hours learning all of these shortcuts, and the next time you edit, you'll be full on intuition. So spend some hours training, master the basics, and you will see difference right away in your work. Which leads us to the second fragment of our key, that is storytelling. Trust me, editing isn't just putting clips together to make them look good, it's about telling a story. Imagine that you are a DJ in a club. You mix and transition some musics in order to get the flow going, knowing when you build up, knowing when you slow down, you just keep the crowd entertained. And editing works in the same way. Every cut should serve a purpose. So whenever you're cutting, ask yourself these 3 questions. What emotion I'm trying to create? Is this gonna help to understand the context of the video? Am I keeping the audience engaged? Great editors control viewers' attention and emotion. Use pacing, music, and motion to guide your viewer into the story. Did you ever notice how MrBeast does his videos? He starts the video with fast cutting and exciting things, and then on intense and critical scenes, he slows down the pacing in order to create emotion and tension on the video. All these choices of pacing, music, and motion are intentional. Try to experience this yourself. Grab a video and cut every silence with no order of pacing. And then grab the same footage, but try to input pacing, emotion, and tension on your video. And just a quick little tip for you, for pacing, try to keep the speed as a conversation. For example, I'm talking to you right now, I do some pauses between phrases in order to you to understand me. Otherwise, I'll be Emineming this and you wouldn't understand anything that I'm saying. And for emotion and tension, try to use contrast. Have some scenes that the energy is high and happy, and have other scenes that the energy is low and has a little bit more tension. And also, as the little cherry on top, learn how music affects the pacing and emotion of a video. Editing is an art, and we should respect it as an art. Every frame is a decision. And talking about pacing, let's get into our third fragment of the key, that is workflow. A lot of people ask me what type of videos they should go for. Should they go for quantity videos that they just spam videos and get lower amounts of money? Or should they go to quality videos that are videos they have time to actually work on the videos and really input their skills? There's no right answer for this, but in my perspective, speed is important, but quality matters the most. So how can we combine a little bit of both? Picture this as a race car driver. They need to go fast, but if they go just as fast as possible without any control, they will crash and lose the race. And the fast editor who cuts corners, it won't last. So this is 3 topics that you should have in mind. Learn how to cut fast without sacrificing quality by using shortcuts and workflows to improve your speed. One really cool workflow that I like is the 4-step cutting, which consists, like the name says, in 4 steps to cut your videos. And in each step, you create a sequence, so further down the line, if you lose anything, you can just go back to this sequence and get the footage back. So the first step is waveform cutting. So pretty much you delete all of the silent spaces that really don't matter for the video. The second cut is called the rough cut, that you remove mistakes and stutters that the client might have. Then you proceed to fine cut, where you decide what stays in and what stays out. This is also the step where I fake some reactions in order to keep the video more entertaining. And then you have the final cut, where you adjust the timings on a cut, webcam, POVs, everything to make the cut ready to go to the next section, that in my case is music. I'll make a separate full video of my workflow that you can replicate in order to speed up your videos. The second point, it's kinda obvious, but is use your time wisely. What I mean by this is, try to not be a perfectionist right away. By no chance I'm saying that you shouldn't do the details on your visuals or anything. You should 100%, but especially on visuals, a lot of editors spend a lot of time doing the micro little details instead of doing the rest of the video. So using your time wisely will be do all the animations that the video requires, and then with the time left you go one by one correcting the little details. Don't be stuck on a certain effect for so long. I coach editors that stick to the same effect for hours and hours and hours, and then they say that the rest of the video is mid because they didn't have time to correct the rest of the video. So make sure that the video is great first, and then with the time that you have left, perfect all of the effects that you made. Which brings the last point of our fragment, that is, always review your work before exporting. This is a big mistake that a lot of editors do, and I used to do that myself. With all of the pressure and rush to deliver a video, I didn't check any of the footage, I didn't check any part of the video, and I delivered the video with so many editing mistakes. And since that day, I told myself that every time before exporting, I would review the video completely. Sometimes it's a black screen, sometimes it's out of balance, it doesn't matter. You should always review your video before you export it. Spend some time reviewing the video and you will see that you will never struggle with minor mistakes again. So let's go to our 4th fragment of the key, that is developing your style. So let's think of this. What really makes you pop as an editor? It's your own style. It's the way that you present your elements into the scene, it's the way you cut, it's the way you do sound effects, it's the way that you do your own style of editing. Think of the famous directors like Quentin Tarantino and Wes Anderson. You can recognize their films by their editing choices alone. So ask yourself, do you have a signature way of cutting? Do you have like a unique element that you put on your scenes? Do you do a special color grading touch, or just present the element in a super different way? Find what makes your edits yours. And most importantly, experiment. Try different techniques. Watch other editors, but watch out. Don't copy them. This is the famous steal like an artist. Consume, grab and adapt in your own style, in your own way. Have the freedom to experience new things. The next video that you grab from a client, make sure that you at least try one new thing. Grab that footage, experiment, and push your creativity to the max. And the last and most important fragment of our key is be the baby. And you ask me, Eros, I'm not a baby, what do you mean by that? Let me explain you how babies work. If you really think when you were a child, you were curious of everything. Babies like to bite everything, crawl into anything, cry for no reason, because that's how they learn. Everything that you know nowadays, it's because you learned and experienced some things in your life that make you as knowledgeable as you are. For example, if me and you are sitting by the window and I tell you to jump, if you do it, you're probably gonna break a leg. And the next time that we are together, both sitting on a window, same scenario, I tell you to jump, you're probably not gonna do it because you know that you got hurt the last time. And same goes to babies. Whenever they try a food that they don't like, whenever you present the same food to them, they will start crying and doing the little war that they don't want to eat it. So what I want to get with this is experiment. Don't feel afraid to try new things. Editing is always changing. Think of it like a video game that got a new update. Maybe it has new mechanics, new ways to play, new objectives, and if you stop learning about those, you're gonna fall behind. Same goes to editing. So really keep trying your best and try to experience new things and learn new skills in order to never feel behind. So ask yourself, have you ever tried motion design, 3D, color correction, sound design? There is so many skills that you can unlock for yourself in order to get your videos into the next level. And with this, we reconstruct our key in order to succeed as a video editor. Focus on your skills, prioritize quality, and never stop learning. Do this and you will stand out. And if you want to learn some of the things that I mentioned on this video and way more, join the Editing Nexus, a school community that teaches you the skills in order to become the killer editor. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you in the next video.